Now, to patent such an AI agent, you need to pass the patent eligible subject matter test. And if you're wondering about the patentability of your AI agent or machine learning platform, the short answer is yes, if properly claimed and articulated in a patent application. Let's discuss the legal framework for patenting your AI agents. First, it needs to be patentable subject matter, as we discussed earlier. Second, it has to be novel, meaning that it hadn't been done before. Third, it has to be non-obvious, meaning that it can't be minor variations of an existing invention. Fourth, it has to be useful. Things like gambling can't be patented. And the final thing to consider is whether or not you've sold or disclosed your invention more than a year ago. If you sold your product 18 months ago, that now goes outside of the 12-month period you have to file a patent. And so that becomes prior art against your own application. So in that case, your only recourse is to improve on your original product and then patent them quickly. So what is patentable subject matter in AI and software in general? Eligibility depends on demonstrating a concrete technical improvement rather than the abstract idea. So let's say if you were claiming an AI agent for travel planning, just that alone by itself is an abstract idea. Now, the more detailed, for example, the specific type of AI architecture, the specifics of how you optimize the trip plan, or perhaps some specific machines that your invention operates with, the more details on how your invention improves computer performance, the more it moves toward the eligible subject matter side of the equation. But if you claim too high level, for example, in the old days, Amazon had a patent on a one-click ordering system. That by today would be viewed as an abstract matter. You need to go into much more detail than just simply saying I'm patenting a one-click ordering system. In short, patentable AI improvements must go beyond the standard algorithmic functions by solving a specific technical problem, be it increasing efficiency or improving accuracy. So as AI technology advances, staying informed about the latest patent guidelines becomes even more important. Contact a lawyer. So what are examples of practical applications and their patents? An example would be, let's say, Tesla's Autopilot system. Tesla has patented the technologies behind its Autopilot and full self-driving system, which leverages vision-based AI and neural networks to process sensory inputs. And these innovations improve the vehicle efficiency and safety, and you can use that to showcase AI's transformative power in the automotive industry. Let's look at another, Airbnb's predictive modeling system. So Airbnb has a patent for machine-based system that predicts the likelihood of booking a property by analyzing user-specific data, such as browsing history and past booking using factors such as location, dynamic pricing, guest reviews, host responsiveness, etc. So this predictive algorithm can be argued that improves the overall system efficiencies, it prevents suspicious activities and fraud, and would be patentable subject matter. So let's example about generative AI in medical imaging. And so patents have been granted in medical and digital healthcare. AI has been used to improve the efficacy of predicting, let's say, a patient health, or let's say using wearable devices to optimize the activities of the users to improve their daily lives in the healthcare. And so that's where you can show that AI has a tangible transformative effect on the user. You also should show how your system improves the performance of the result or improves the performance of a computer. Innovations in the LLM can be used to show the transformative power of AI in improving the efficiency or the output, the quality, let's say, of the result. Let's say if you were doing video compression and you use AI to enhance a 1K video into a 4K video, that is a transformative show and it does improve the output. So AI agents can be patented, but you're going to have to overcome the hoops that we discussed earlier. So how do we address the patent application to ensure a smoother trip through the patent office. First of all, what you should do is clearly define the AI as agent, the scope, the outcomes and behavior. Some pseudocode might be very useful there. You can explain how the model is trained, optimized, and implemented, but generally that's really not novel, unless that's part of your novelty. However, because such is very hard the training aspect is hard to detect, we recommend that you keep your training technique as trade secret rather than patent the training technique. You need to identify and focus your discussion on the point of novelty. Let's say if you're patenting a new use of LLM for doing travel planning, LLMs have been around, so I wouldn't be focusing the discussion on the LLM. I would be focusing it to your specific application of travel planning, for example. You would drill down and show all the mechanisms and the way you design your software for efficiency improvement, for quality improvement as well. So if you can show that, hey, using your particular system, you meet the user's objective twice as much as the conventional system, that's showing an improvement in performance, right? If you have some special data structure that enables the computer to run to twice as fast, definitely focus on that. So now that you have those considerations in mind, what is the typical patent application process? You first can determine the type of protection you want. You can certainly keep it as a trade secret. However, one downside of a trade secret is that if somebody else independently performs that after they look at your output, your openly available product, they could reverse engineer your product in a fair manner and be free to operate. So the second thing you want to consider is trademark. The branding can be very powerful, but that has nothing to do with the technology. So think of McDonald's, think of Starbucks, think of Nike. Those things coexist with patents, and they can be a very powerful leverage if your product becomes well known. Patents, trademark, copyright, you can use them, but in general, copyright is very specific. And the main use for copyright domain would be for publishers or videographers, content producers. The copyright exists to prevent copying, but of course, other people can approach the same topic and use their own spin on it. And then last but not least, you have trade secret that we discussed earlier. Again, the downside of a trade secret is that once you sell your product, people can look at your product and then can reverse engineer and implement what you've done. And so as the AI landscape changes, we encourage you to come back and talk to us and figure out the best way to patent your AI agents.